Hi, welcome to Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Get ready to revitalize your mind, body, and soul. We're here to inspire women who are looking to break free from old patterns and ideas to create a life of increased confidence and improved health. Say goodbye to limiting beliefs and hello to new possibilities. So kick back, get ready to have some fun, and let's dive in. We'll uncover tools and insights that can help you build. Hello and welcome. I'm Tracy.
And I'm Victoria.
And we're glad you're here for this episode of the podcast today.
Nourishing Body and Soul.
Yes.
Nourishing Body and Soul podcast. That's my voice. If I was ever on a game show.
That's the game show voice.
That's the game show voice. So I was like one of those, the girls that stand and then says the price. Okay, sorry.
This is a Maytag Deluxe.
Is the price. Sorry everyone out there. I'm a little loopy.
We're not game show hosts or game show girls anymore. We'll be our regular selves.
No, not anymore.
So this is a very current I Know Better Than. We're just getting ready to start recording. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And Victoria says, don't we need the microphone? So I know better than trying to record without a microphone, only apparently I was ready to try that anyway.
So you know better than
I know better than to record without a microphone.
There. All right. There's an I know better than. All right. I know better than. This is an ongoing thing that I'm sure y'all are sick of hearing. But I've given up sugar for real this time. But I go to the grocery store last night for the sole effect to get Cheetos and like this special bread that I like, this olive bread from Rayleigh's that I love, and it's so good. Anyway, until I got just a bunch of junk food that I would never in a million years eat because usually I get my fix with sugar, and so I decided no. So I'm eating Cheetos last night, and first of all, Cheetos the bag is like $5 or $6 now for a small bag of Cheetos. So anyway, they had a promotional item of white cheddar Cheetos. So that's what I ate last night for dinner. White cheddar Cheetos. Yeah. I know better than doing that, but still, I know better. Yeah. I was trying to substitute something for sugar. I'm rewarding myself because I feel like, I deserve something.
Yeah.
Cheetos wasn't it.
Yeah. That's the problem with the restriction mindset. But speaking of mindset.
Yes.
We've talked about gratitude before, and gratitude is something I'm sure you have heard from other than just from us. But
like everybody.
Yeah, like everybody. But if, like a lot of people, we just hear about gratitude and, instinctively we know this is a good idea. It's not
a good idea. It's not a good idea to have gratitude, just FYI.
I know. It was like, yes, we know this instinctually. We're like,
yes, we should.
Yeah. But how often do we not? Or how often, but why? Like why does it matter?
Yes, why? Why do I have like gratitude journals all over everything that I look at?
And actually, what difference does it make? And it's easy to imagine and to understand intuitively that it's going to have an effect on our mindset, which is going to affect our mental and emotional health, but we thought we'd take a little bit of time today to talk about the physical effects, because when we practice gratitude, when we live in a place of gratitude, it actually has physical impact.
It does?
Yeah.
It's not just like, mentally it's good for you to...
No. No, there are physical ramifications.
Well, that's good.
To practicing gratitude. So in case you need a few more reasons, but also really just to educate that it's so multidimensional, the reasons that practicing gratitude is a good idea and living in gratitude makes a difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So I'm gonna learn something.
We have several. We'll just go through as many as we have time for. So the first one is pretty obvious. It reduces stress. So that doesn't take a lot of imagination to see how that can happen. But
no, actually, like I honestly I don't understand the whole gratitude thing. Like I understand, you should be, but like from a spiritual standpoint, you should practice gratitude because spiritually it's good for you. But actually, I don't really know anything about like how it reduces stress. Like all this stuff you're going to tell me about gratitude is absolutely brand new, because I hear it and I tune out and I go somewhere else. Because I think, all right, I say thank you for things. Yeah, good. I'm nice. I'm polite. I say thanks.
Okay,
That's that.
cool.
All right. So anyway,
all this new information for you today.
Yes.
Yes, it reduces stress, which, you know, when we're feeling grateful for something, it calms us down. Not surprising.
See, this is all brand. This is like, you're like, oh, not surprising. No, it is actually. It's all surprising to me, because I really do think it was just like, you know, I don't know, like something like faith or one of those things.
So, well, think about it then. This is fun then. Think about when you actually are feeling that gratitude, when you're really and I have sometimes like, oh, what am I grateful for? Oh, and just kind of do it as a checklist thing.
Yeah.
But when I actually stop and am grateful for, you know, this amazing weather that we've been having lately, this we've had a couple of really beautiful days after a very hot month, and to just open the windows and feel that wind coming through, and just, oh, it's just been heavenly. And when I actually live in, you know, in that gratitude for that moment of just feeling the wind, the breeze coming through the windows, reduces, it just takes, you know, it takes down the stress level. It's like, okay, whatever else is going on, this is good.
And that's for like most people.
Yeah.
That's like a thing that happens for most people when I don't know if I'm just not grateful for things.
Well, we can, like I said, there are times where the being in gratitude does not reduce my stress very much, because I'm doing it as a checklist kind of thing. You know, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for this or that. Yeah. Or even if it's like, oh, even if the way that I'm thinking is, if I'm just thinking, oh, I'm grateful for this weather because it's been hot, and then moving on. That's like, okay, check. Yeah, I do the gratitude thing, but actually living in that moment and actually really feeling that gratitude instead of just check off a list, listing things we're grateful for, to actually, you know, wallow in the gratitude for a minute and just,
and that reduces stress. Yeah.
Reduces stress, and the reducing of the stress lowers, and low level stress is so bad for our bodies.
It really is
so bad for our bodies. And so gratitude can help that. And when our stress reduces, our cortisol is lower, our blood pressure can lower, which can lower risk of heart disease. I mean, there's just a number. It's like, wow, okay. Yeah.
So when they say living in gratitude, they mean it. Like, actually live in the moment of gratitude.
Right. Instead of just, whatever. I mean, gratitude journals are a really nice idea, but they can also just become another checklist thing that then becomes, you know, a splendid 20 seconds of your life. Day.
Yeah. Like, what 3 things are you grateful for? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're done.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get these benefits that you would if you actually stop and really feel that gratitude, be in that moment and really think, you know, yeah, here's my 3 things, but wait, stop. Why?
Yeah.
Why am I grateful for that? I had a friend one time, she's so cute. She's like, I am so grateful that my children are washable. Not something I ever thought to stop and be grateful for, but boy howdy. And you know, she was feeling that.
Oh, that's sweet.
So the next thing that being in gratitude can help is it can improve our sleep. Yeah. Because it ties in with that, especially if we practice that and really take it in, not just the checklist thing, but actually take it in, reduce it calms us, it helps us relax, and that relaxation can then help us get better sleep. Yeah. And when we get better sleep, that can help our immune system, because that really strengthens that. It can help regulate our hormones. And when we're sleeping, that's like when we go to sleep, it's kind of like putting a computer in sleep mode. That's when it like files all the things and it does all the things that keep the maintenance up. And so that it can, the tissue repair, all that kind of stuff happens.
Your collagen.
When we're getting good sleep.
That's why you wear night cream.
Beauty sleep is a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing that it can do, which it just does not get, it can enhance our immune system. And so when we're, because of that, helping with the sleep and that kind of thing, and it also reduces the stress hormones, which then allows our body to have a better immune system.
Mhm.
And having a better immune system, obviously, increases the production of the chemicals. And let me get my note here. Where am I going? The chemicals and neurotransmitters, that it builds those up as we're in that calm, and also the sleeping helps with that. It can lower our blood pressure, which you mentioned earlier with the reduced stress. That's, I mean, have you ever
These
done?
are kind of big deals.
They are. It is a
like
big
this
deal.
is not like this is. I mean, we're talking about it as a list too,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
these are kind of big deals to lower your blood pressure.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever taken, like, felt yourself get riled up and taking your blood pressure,
No,
or taken after? I have,
but I do know when I take my blood pressure at the doctor's office, I do like deep breathing exercises before I let them do it.
Yeah. And because it's a real thing that doctors are aware of, that when people are in a doctor's office, they're often uncomfortable,
Mhm.
and that will raise their blood pressure. I mean, it's not like they're going to go, oh, you have, massively high blood pressure to perfectly normal low blood pressure.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be that big of a difference, but it can raise your blood pressure when you're just upset about something.
Mhm.
And so again, it ties in with the living in gratitude, calms us down, triggers a relaxation response, which can lower our blood pressure as well. I mean, it's a lot of amazing stuff. And obviously, having low blood pressure impacts heart disease and other cardiovascular issues. So we're thankful
Wow.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's living in gratitude is not just, it's not just a nice idea, it's just, it changes the tenure of our life. It changes the way that we live, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's just like, when we're actually not just doing the checklist kind of gratitude,
Yeah.
but really living in that gratitude. It reduces inflammation, which it helps autoimmune diseases, not just helps fight autoimmune diseases, and can affect diabetes and heart disease, which you already mentioned, because the inflammation is a big thing, and so it causes a lot of problems with a lot of things that we don't realize are caused by inflammation. It just affects a lot of things, and there are a lot of kind of foods that are anti-inflammatory foods and all that kind of thing, and gratitude is just a natural one of those. So
these are all good things.
Yeah, they are. It calms our nervous system, and that promotes a relaxation, and that reduces stress. And this is also, I've talked a little bit, not a lot, about slowing down with eating. That's one of the things I start with people a lot with, is how fast of an eater are you?
Because we haven't talked about that a lot.
Yeah, I think we've just mentioned it once or twice, but we'll go into that right now really briefly for just a second here. When we eat quickly, it triggers a stress response, because it's the going back to we talked a little bit about fight, flight.
So me munching down on my Cheetos, like,
all depends on how fast you're eating them.
I was eating them fast as I could.
Yeah. So it triggers a response to a stress response, which then triggers the production of insulin and cortisol, which makes us hold on to that more. Yeah. So if we can just practice, if we're a fast eater, or even a medium speed eater, take the time to take 3 to 5 deep breaths, and because we can get into that
before you eat, or before you have every bite.
No, before you eat. And because what that does is it gets your body into relaxation response, which then allows your digestive system to function at its optimal level.
Wow.
So yeah, and so calming our nervous system, same thing, is that living in that relaxation response
Mhm.
instead of in this state of, some kind of elevated stress. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, how do you, this sounds so stupid and elementary, but how do you do it? Do you just like stop before every little thing and think, okay, I'm so grateful for this, and then just like say it over and over in your mind, I'm so grateful? Or like, do you, like, you explained that about the wind and all of that, like, I felt that in your house yesterday, but I didn't like I thought, oh, this feels nice, but I didn't like stop and like appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's
So is that what you?
well, I can just tell you my experience.
Yes.
And I had kept a gratitude journal in one form or another for a long time, but it hasn't been into the last, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years. Well, where I began to understand and more. And so for me, it's just been this real gradual kind of thing. And it's all a mindset thing. And realizing that, take just a moment to go, okay, well, I'm grateful for this, but I started realizing it's like, I'm just keeping this gratitude journal as kind of a rote thing.
Yeah.
But then as I started really, and for me personally, it's been part of a spiritual progression as well. And just, it just started noticing, slowing down enough to notice moments. And I sometimes feel like a complete dork, and I will own that. Yeah, it's like, I'm such a dork. This morning when I went to the gym, I don't know what kind of trees they are, and I almost took a picture, but I thought, okay, dial it back a little bit, woman. But there were seed pods on the ground. The tree that dropped a bunch of seed pods. And the seed pods were so fascinating because they're like triangular shaped. They come down to a point at the bottom, and then it's triangular shaped up to the top. And they're like this little air packet. And I just thought, this is like a little present. And so I found one that was not open yet, and I opened it up to see what it was like inside. And it's like, there's just the little seeds are just stuck to a little thing inside, and so when it pops open, the seeds can get out. And I thought, this is just a beautiful little thing. These seed pods did not need to look like this. This tree did not need to spread its seeds in this manner. And so just little moments like that.
So you're looking for it.
Yeah. Look, and just looking for the beautiful little moments. And there's so many every day. Every day.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, I just found myself doing it more and more because I recognized it just feels really good to live like that. And it's not something like, that moment this morning was with a tree and a seed pod, but it wasn't like out in the country listening to the water. And it was like at the gym. It's a tree next to the gym.
Yeah.
A tree in a parking lot. So it's not something that you have to like be in a certain area for and have certain music for and be alone for. It's like you
haven't manufactured a big moment.
No,
you're just going about your day and seeing.
And just another little example, I have a wooden desk and I love the feel of it. Often, I sit at this desk almost every day, and at least once it crosses my mind, man, I love how this desk feels. And that moment of appreciation, just that little tiny moment, then it just brings lightness and it brings joy and relaxation. And it may only be that long, but it's just that moment. And then when you take that moment and you combine it with the moment of seeing the seed pod at the gym, and you take it with another moment of another silly kind of moment. I was at the grocery store today, and in our city, it's very fun. We've got these, what do you call them, wild chickens or feral chickens? They're like all over the place. Yeah. And it's really funny. It's a very, I think, whimsical thing about our city.
It is. It's one of the coolest things about our city, to be perfectly honest.
So I'm at the grocery store, and in the racks where the magazines and stuff are right at the checkout, there's a magazine about chickens. And it's like, here we are leaning hard into that. And it wasn't
Yeah.
specifically about our city, but it's like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most places you go, you're not going to see that there. And so just that little moment of thinking, oh, I just appreciate that about where I live.
Mhm.
And, again, a very brief moment, but they just start stringing together.
Mhm.
And when they string together like that, I find myself living like so much of the time in
Mhm.
gratitude that then I live in a much more relaxed state than I used to. And it's not just because I don't have little children at home. But it just kind of, it all strings together, and it has created this lifestyle and this manner of living that promotes just living in a relaxation response, and it allows, my temper it's pretty hard to set my temper off. It's just so many more things. And realizing that my life is so ordinary in so many, it's just so ordinary. I don't travel the world. I haven't done any big spectacular things.
Mhm.
But when I look at it like that, it's like my life is so beautiful. And I'm so happy in my very ordinary life. Very ordinary life. And so it's just this gradual change.
It sounds wonderful.
It is. I like my life.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I feel that from you. I feel that like like you're very like chill, and you're very warm, and you're very loving, and you're very caring. Like I feel all that from you. But I didn't know this whole little thing was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This whole gratitude thing.
Yeah. And it's not anything I set out to go, I'm going to, I'm going to do this
10.
so that I can, it's just been, like I said, it's just been a slow change.
Attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I kind of do that a little bit because when I take pictures.
Mhm.
So like I've taken pictures of the chickens
Mhm.
or little videos if they're like acting really wackadoo and they've got little baby chicks and stuff. So, or, I'll take like if I would take pictures of the seed if I saw that and I felt that. So I guess in some ways I'm starting to practice that in that way, in the way that, but I'm not thought about spending my life looking.
Yeah. Well, and
for
two,
that.
one thing that has really changed is that it's not like practicing gratitude automatically creates a life of rainbows and roses.
Yeah.
But also I have found that living this way, even in the very difficult moments, it's very easy to see the sacred nature of those moments, and to really be with somebody. If it's a moment that you're sharing with them, or if it's my own moment that's really hard, if I'm dealing with something that's just really troubling to me, it doesn't overwhelm me because I have this sense of it's part of a much bigger picture. And I can appreciate, I don't like this moment. It's not a beautiful thing that's happening, but I can appreciate its place in the larger tapestry of my life. There's I wasn't thinking about this, or I would have looked up this poem, and there's this really wonderful poem that I just remember not even a whole stanza of it, I don't think. But it's comparing our lives to weaving a tapestry, which is not an uncommon thing. But it says, not till the loom is silent and the shutters cease to fly will God unfold the pattern and explain the reason why. The dark threads are as needful in the weaver's something hand as the threads of gold and silver in the pattern that he planned. And I can take in this living in gratitude helps in those moments, in the dark thread moments, to go, okay, this is a dark thread. It's hard. It hurts. I don't know how long, I don't know how big this patch of darkness is going to be in my life's tapestry, but I understand it has a place in the pattern.
Wow.
And so I can be okay with it in that way.
Wow.
So
that's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a new moment for me. A way to
It's-
go forward in a
yeah.
with different thoughts. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. This is totally a mindset thing. And that can impact literally every moment of our lives.
Mhm.
Every moment of our lives.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
there's that.
Beginning my
There
gratitude
you go.
journey on my other journeys down the road. It's like side
Yeah.
road
Yeah.
adjacent.
Interestingly, another thing that another physical effect of gratitude, which I didn't realize until I did a little more study for this episode, is that it can help with pain management.
Wow.
Because it activates the same parts of the brain that are related to the release of natural painkillers.
Interesting.
So how's that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
Mm-mm.
So
No, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah, and another one is an increased energy level, which we kind of that's in essence the whole thing we just talked about.
Yeah.
The joie de vivre that I have now is
Mhm.
different than what I used to have
Yeah.
because of this, living more and more and more in gratitude.
Mhm. Wow.
So that's that. And then obviously when all these things are in place, it can legitimately help our longevity.
And longevity in a positive way.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes like it's not just longevity. You want longevity to be
Right.
meaningful.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, with all of these good health effects,
Mhm.
that's going to help us live with better health
Yeah.
and be grateful and enjoy the life that we have.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ditch the 3-day,
The
three things a day.
Yeah.
I think that's not how it. I don't think that's how gratitude is going to manifest
Right.
itself to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that picking 3 things.
Yeah.
Oh, the Giants won. Or whatever. Like this is probably why my gratitude's got problems. Like
Because
my
the Giants
gratitude's
haven't won
tied
enough
with
lately.
my gratitude's tied with the Giants winning or losing. But yeah, I think that helps to just maybe step back for a minute. And I love that poem.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look it up. I love that poem
Yeah.
because
It's
it
a good
is
one.
true that
Yeah.
we have to have dark moments.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, this is the poem that I never memorized the whole thing. I heard it when I was a teenager.
Mm.
So, and I've remembered that bit of the poem for all these many
wow.
weeks.
Yeah, just a scant number of years. Scant.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
all right. Well, gratitude.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
we talked about it.
Yeah. So
physical effects.
Good. So, my friends, legitimately, when we say we're grateful for you, really, honestly and truly, we're grateful for you. We're grateful for you listening and being a part of our little journey here, and hope that we can be a helpful part of yours.
Yes.
And so, yeah, a great way to nourish not only your body, but your soul as well, is to really live in gratitude beyond just the 3 things gratitude list today.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Until next time.
Have a great week.
And notice the little things. Hey, it's Tracy. If this was helpful and you'd like more, follow me on Instagram at tlastel.nourishingbodyansoul, or on Facebook or YouTube at Nourishing Body and Soul, or you can find my website at nourishingbodysoul.com.
Okay, so this is embarrassing because I've always made fun of people who did this, but
like and subscribe.
Turns out it's important.
Well, it's important because if you like what you're listening to and seeing and you want to find it again, it makes it easier for you to find it. And then also it makes it easier for other people to find it. So if you like us, like us.
Yeah. Like put a ring on it, us.
Yeah. Then like and subscribe, and it'll make us easier to find. Thanks for tuning in to Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Before we wrap up, we just want to remind you that the information we share in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended for medical advice. While we hope you find our discussions helpful, we strongly recommend that you seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or any other aspect of your health. We also want to make it clear that the host, guests, and producers of this podcast are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences that may result from the use of any information or suggestion discussed in this podcast. We care about your well-being, but we can't take responsibility for individual outcomes. By listening to this podcast, you agree to indemnify and hold harmless the hosts, guests, and producers of this podcast from and against any and all claims, damages, liabilities, costs, and expenses arising from your use of the information provided in this podcast. We're so grateful for your support, and we hope you keep listening and learning with us. Thanks.